transitioning to just a quick talk before our final keynote of the day. So Tim Chrisman, he's spoken a couple times already. He's the founder and executive director of the Foundation for the Future. He's a former Army officer and most recently worked as a CIA officer supporting the National Space Council. He has 2 master's degrees, one in intelligence studies and one in international relations and affairs from American University. Tim is a quick learner and challenger of the status quo. So case in point, one summer he switched from a team working in Pakistani politics to a team working on satellite threats. After less than 30 days on the new job focused on satellites, his work was selected for a presentation at a satellite threat conference due to its sophistication. Tim's passion for space and humanity's evolution in space is deep. He's the author of the book Humanity in Space and various articles on the topic. His next challenge and mission is to create the backbone of America's next century in space. Please welcome Tim Chrisman.
Thank you, Katie. I only have a few minutes between Rob here and Greg. And so I wanted to go back to what we were talking about earlier today with the Space Act of 2021. I know when we left off, there were a number of questions from the audience that we didn't have time to address. And I want to give people a chance to do that as I recap our proposal really quickly for those of you who weren't here earlier. The gist of what us at the Foundation are trying to do is put ourselves out of business. We want to create a public-private partnership where the federal government charters a infrastructure development corporation with a mandate to get Americans working again and working in space. This corporation, we are doing the legwork now to build out the shell of its board of directors, its initial projects, assessments of what would be near-term wins, what would be things that are high on the TRL levels that can be funded or that would need additional study. And that is really the reason we started this Blue Marble Week series, is because we know we are not the people who will be building the infrastructure. And we're also not the people who know what needs building. We know we need to get Americans to space, and that is part of our space access pillar. We know we need somewhere to plug them in so they can play, and that's our space sustainment pillar. And our final is we need material moving to space and benefits flowing back down to make both investors happy, but also to actually realize the benefits of space. And this is our space support pillar. And so realistically, we are looking to have a situation where the Congress authorizes the creation of this space corporation. And then we turn to the private sector in much the same way In-Q-Tel does with the intelligence community, and how venture capital teams do elsewhere in the private sector, and say, we will be the first loss position on some of these large infrastructure projects. We cannot take a majority stake in any project. Let's go. And it's through that sort of partnership that we see in talks with both space-focused and infrastructure-focused finance people, that's where you get the 5-to-1, the 10-to-1 dollar matching from private sector and really take the public sector money and stretch it. I can continue to talk about the sorts of projects we were looking at. Michael, were there questions in the chat left over?
Really kind of focused on really the nowness, right? The things that we're doing near term to leverage long term. And I know that you talked about that a bit, and so did John, but we also had some questions about how do the public help with this?
Yeah, and the first part about what is happening now is that we are going to congressional offices. Right now, we're going to the offices of senators and congresspeople that represent the districts where those of us in the foundation live. That encompasses about 18 senators and 11 representatives. And basically delivering to them or their staff this pitch and telling them, look, you have said and campaigned on the idea that we need American jobs, we need American security. Here's a way to do that in a probably as close to budgetary neutral manner as you are going to find for something of this scale. Can we count on your support? And what we're looking to do is twofold, and this gets to the second part of the question you asked, Michael, and that is first, expand the network of people who are willing to go to their congressperson. And since we're in COVID times, that in many cases is a Zoom call, and it's not a physical visit. And so we're asking people, if you're interested in being one of the constituent partners, to contact us. Michael will put my email in the chat here, and we will work with our lobbyist teams to craft a letter tailored to your representative, your senator, and work on opening the door so that even if you're not giving this pitch, you're able to say, look, I'm a constituent of yours. I care about the space economy. What we've been doing isn't enough. Let's do more. And as John mentioned this morning, since Andrew Jackson was around, he has been prepping people to talk to Congress, and he is the exact person you want prepping you for something you've never done before. He is phenomenal at that. But the second class of help we need is people who just want to sign on. And at the end of the day, it is a numbers game. So the number of YouTube views, the number of people signing up for our petition to send to Congress matters. And so if you don't want to put your name out there as somebody to talk to your congressman or senator, but you're fine being a number, that is a need. It's not a sexy, cool one. But it is something that is useful when we go and can talk and provide the sort of statistics and numbers that actually move the hearts and minds of the halls of power. Did that?
Yeah, that was awesome. That's exactly what we need. We need people involved with this program. I mean, at the end of the day, I said this to somebody else recently about the work that you're on. There's 7.7 billion people in the world. Moving the world takes a lot of work. It is hard to do. And what you're embarking on, the infrastructure that you're trying to enable, that infrastructure changes the world. So this is not easy stuff that you're tackling, and you can't do it alone. So the global community, the national community, the folks on this call, the folks watching the videos, this can only happen if it is a partnership.
Yeah.
Right. So if people connect with you, you just posted your contact information. If people connect with you, what can they expect as far as asks? What will the foundation ask of them?
So the first thing will be, are you willing to be the constituent partner with us? And if so, then we connect you to John and our government relations team. If not, great. Do you know other people who might be? And are you willing to add your name to our list of supporters? We are more or less perpetually fundraising to both keep our organization moving forward and setting up this corporation in exile. But at the end of the day, the need is to establish this infrastructure development corporation. And so driving that forward is what we need. And the fundraising comes from success.
Terrific. We're gonna swap over to Dr. Autry in a few minutes. We only have 2 minutes left for this answer, but I would like some of your own personal story. How did you get here? Because where we are isn't easy. So how did you? What was the aha moment, the epiphany, the wake up from the middle of the night and say, I want to build maybe the most complicated systems humanity has ever built? How did that happen?
When people ask me that, I often ask, do you want the cool version or the true version?
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Well, either happen in less than 2 minutes.
Okay.
The true version is that it came right here. I don't know if you can see very well on my screen, but I work out of my basement. And the first 6 months of COVID, this is all I saw. And I realized sitting down here in August that I was waiting for someone else to do something. I didn't know what that something was, but I was waiting for this other to help and give me something inspiring to do. And I didn't know how to do or what to do, but I knew I wanted to make space available because I have daughters who want to go to space, and why not make it easy for them? And so I realized, well, I don't know what I'm doing, but that's never stopped me before. So let's just try this. And you're looking at iteration 8 or 9 of the Foundation for the Future. And that's been since August. So there'll be probably 2 or 3 more adaptations as we progress and as we interact with Congress and develop ourselves into this corporation in exile. But yeah, no, it started staring at a wall.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Thank you very much, Executive Director Tim Chrisman. We're going to swap over to Katie and then bring in Dr. Autry.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Tim.